So I applied to JPA Mara, and then got the opportunity to go to KYS, and then I go KYS. So I would say it's a good institution. It's a very great place for you to know your friends, for you to get out of your comfort zone. So yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, my first impression for QSB was this is a very, very small community. But even though it's a very small community, I think that is where the advantages come. Because within this small community, your lecturer can really focus on your education and really focus on your growth as a person, as compared to when we look at our other universities. Most of the lecturers, and I think most of us have been to the universities, most of the lecturers wouldn't even really care about you personally, but it's totally different here at SB because we're such a small community. The lecturer is going to really, really have a great care for you. I think that's my first impression of QSB, even though it's very small unit.
Yeah, similar to what Adli said. So it's a small community. So everyone here like knows each other. So when we got to New Zealand at one point of time, we would eventually travel among our friends and also meet each other in Wellington, in Christchurch, and also in Auckland. So we go around traveling, and that's something that I really cherish. And during my first time here in USP, I saw that there was a great chance for us to grow as people, because all the community service work that we had to do and everything from projects and also being a part of student council, that was really good because that really helped us to grow as a person. Yeah.
Alright, so Farhana, I'd like to ask a different question for you. So, what university did you attend and what is the most memorable moments that you had when you attended there?
So I attended the University of Auckland. So I majored in finance and economics and then pursued the honors program for another year, specializing in finance. So the most memorable thing, well, of course, the times where we stayed up with our friends. I even have that one time I didn't even sleep to finish all the assignments and doing all the presentation as well. So it is very memorable. And if I were to share another one, it would be all the celebrations that we had with our friends overseas. So Raya di Perantauan, cooking the rendang, all of this kind of thing is something that is very memorable and to be cherished over the lifetime because it's not something that everyone can have that experience to. So yeah, that is like one of the most memorable things for me.
Alright, I'd like to ask you guys, did any of you took up a part-time job when you were in New Zealand? And maybe you can give us some tips for our future NZ scholars?
Yeah, I did do part-time job back then when I was in Auckland. I would say that how I'm not sure on how GP sets out and if you guys can still do any part-time job when you're still studying over there. But if you guys are given the chance, I would say do grab it because it's a good experience to mingle around with the working environment in New Zealand because it's very different from the working environment here in Malaysia. Over there, it's a lot more. Sometimes it feels a lot more relaxed because of how the life there is very, very, very slow, and the life here, the pace over here, life in Malaysia is quite. The pace is quite fast. Sometimes you feel like you can't slow down. So I feel like if you do have the chance to do a part-time job in New Zealand, do grab it. Plus, it's extra money. You can travel.
Yes, correct. Is there anyone else that took up a part-time job? Can you share out your experience with us?
I did as well. I was an additional assistant at the university compound. So it was like quite a good part-time job, I would say, because you're just working in the university compound and then you can go to classes. It's very easy to commute as well because this is the university compound, right? And the pay, you although it's the minimum wage, but it is still quite okay for you to use for travel purposes because you're there, so you would like to explore things, and then the food over there is also quite expensive, so it is actually encouraged to get a part-time job. But otherwise, you can actually sustain yourself with I'm not sure if you have the JPA Mara scholars here as well. So there's the JPA Mara scholars that's going there, so it is actually sustainable to also use the allowance they provide for us. Yeah, so that is like my experience.
Alright.
Okay, so maybe my advice to you guys is to pick and choose where you want to work, because there are some Malaysian restaurants there, and they may be a little bit, do things under the table, so they may pay you less. So I guess we have to pick and choose and try to go for New Zealand companies. So companies there would prioritize your mental health, your working rights, your human rights. Yeah, paying on time. So all that is important. And one more thing, I do not encourage you guys to be a tour guide. This is just for the fact that you'll be driving a 12-seater van around New Zealand. So that was what I did, and I think like it was a good experience. But overall, I think it's kind of dangerous for especially young people like us to drive around all these maci-maci and paci-paci, in a 12-seater van all around New Zealand. So if you think you're up for it, then go ahead, but please get your parents' permission not to do it. Yeah.
Alright, thank you so much for the answer. Okay, so let's pass back to Tariq. Okay, so I'd like to ask you, what university do you attend during New Zealand? And what do you think are the differences between studying in local universities over here and New Zealand?
Okay, I went to Victoria University of Wellington. Okay, Aisha went in the same university. So comparing local university and the university that I attended, so currently I am doing part-time study in Sunway. I'm doing professional papers, ICW, for those who know. I would say the environment over there is it's very relaxed. I'm a guy who don't really like to study. I'm a bit lazy, to be honest with you. I'm a bit lazy, so in Sunway, everyone is very pushing everything. Everyone is stressful on their full papers, etc. But when you're in university, when you are, let's say, as for me, when you are in Victoria University, you have your friends. Of course, your friends are going to push you and tell you to study, you have exams, you have assignments, yada. Tapi it's just it feels better over there because somehow everyone is relaxed and everyone is very supportive. It doesn't mean that if you are relaxed and you are not pushing, you will not get an excellent result. I think it depends on people. Sometimes people are pushing too hard to the point they forgot that they have to take a step back and take a deep breather so they can take everything in. So yeah, I think most of it is the environment.
Right, thank you so much for the insight. Okay, so moving on to Adli, I'd like to ask you, did you have like a specific goal when you study in New Zealand? For example, like did you have like a focused career job, your dream job that you wanted to pursue? So how did that go for you?
Okay, so first of all, I am a graduate with major in economics. So I was studying in University of Canterbury. I'm from university here, probably. Yeah, okay. So when I studied economics, I really want to go into banking. I think banking is one of the most stable industry ever in Malaysia, very well regulated, and I think it's one of the best places for fresh grad to join. So with the economics degree, I applied to multiple jobs in banking, and alhamdulillah, I landed a job with MBank as their management training program, which is a very good program. Ari and Anna is also in the management training, but with other bank, not MBank. And I think that actually goes pretty well for me. People love somebody with an economics degree because of how wide our view is about the work now, especially. For example, if you have an accounting degree, for example, it's a bit difficult for you to kind of nudge into the banking sector because you have been focusing with the technicalities. So that's what some of my friends have been telling me, like those with an accounting degree that come into banking, it's a bit difficult for them. But with an economics degree, because of how general the degree is, you can really fit into so many sectors, and I chose banking specifically, and that's kind of what I want to be in the future.
I see. So congratulations that everything is going well for you.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, so thank you. Alright, so does anyone else have like sort of like your dream job and how did it go well for you? Did it go well or did it not?
I think in particular when I was studying my final semester in New Zealand, I was looking for jobs lah, so I was just applying here and there everywhere. And just to inform you guys, I did double major in economics and finance, so I had a broader range of what I wanted to do. And banking was in one of my lists, but it was in the top one. So I didn't actually have a particular dream job in mind. So I could have pursued in Big Four and probably taxation as well. And I think with the degree in double major in economics and finance, it gave me a lot of options. And when I initially in New Zealand, I got offered, I got interviews lah. So unfortunately, I didn't pass. But in Malaysia, when I came back, I got like multiple job offers, and I settled with CIMB lah, and alhamdulillah, so far it's been 8 months, yeah, and it's going well right now. Yeah.
Alright, alhamdulillah. Okay, so Farhana, I'd like to ask you a question. So, after graduating from New Zealand, do you find it difficult trying to secure or get a job in Malaysia?
Actually, it depends on the timing of you graduating as well. Because like for me, I finish and come back like around like October, November-ish. So it's not like the season where jobs are actually available in the market. And plus, I'm also like looking for jobs in New Zealand. And I got a job offer for like financial advisor. But that was like, is this really what I want to do? Because staying in New Zealand, being a financial advisor, meaning that my market will be the people in New Zealand themselves, and there's like no like view for me like to come back to Malaysia at all. So that's not something that I particularly wanted to do. So I come back to Malaysia, and then like, I started looking for jobs and applying for like IMB as well. And yeah, alhamdulillah, I got in as the complete banker. So I wouldn't say like to find the job is hard, because KYC product is very marketable because of what we're doing. Even like in the IMB, like the HR would say like, oh yeah, they wanted to increase the people from KYC as well, like white basic to Menari lah. And then yeah, it's good. And then, but the hard part would be the interview process and all the stages that you need to go through. Like for CIMB ourselves, we have like 6 stages. So it's like, yeah, it's very hard for one. So it is like understandable because they wanted to grow this management trainee into like the C-level prospects of the organizations themselves. So it's very understandable. And then like for TCTs, the complete banker, we don't really have like genuine towards being commerce people that can join us, because like, I also have friends and colleagues who are actually studying in biomedical and this kind of thing. So I would say the competition is tough, but we have like the strong plus point lah, because we are studying and then like, we know what the bank consultants will do. So yeah, that's the only part.
Alright, okay, thank you for the insight. Okay, Aisha, so you are the only person alumni here that majored in actual science. Am I correct? Yeah, right. Okay, so I'd like to ask you, what would you try to promote actual science to the students here? Like, for example, what are the advantages of taking the course, and would you actually recommend it?
As a person yang dah experience taking a degree in actual science, I would say it's a very great journey lah. Kalau you betul-betul suka maths, suka statistics, suka probabilities, it's very cool lah. If you like want to dive more into maths, sebab you betul-betul belajar like mathematics in advance. Tapi like bear in mind, it's really hard. Dia macam if this is science, it's like mathematics. Dia that hard level tu. I would recommend you to take it if you really see yourself as an actuary or an analyst or a consultant in a few years time, like betul-betul your future. Yeah, kan macam betul-betul cita-cita. So like go for it. Tapi yeah, it's
Susah. One more question for you. I'd like to ask you, what do you think about the job opportunities in New Zealand or in Malaysia for majoring in actual science?
sebab we normally dekat di sini kita orang ambil double major sampai ambil actual science, sebab most papers memang double dah, so like might as well just take double major actual science and finance. So you punya apa tu scope tu memang dah besar lah, you punya range untuk apply for job, careers tu. So I can say macam senang nak dapat kerja juga lah, macam you boleh apply banyak bidang, like, macam econs, tapi like kita orang mau tu this finance punya side. Yeah, so it's the same for both New Zealand and Malaysia so far.
Alright, thank you for the insight. Okay, so going next, so I'd like to ask you a question about your career. So do you have any future plan to sort of expand your career proficiency?
Right, so currently I'm working with PwC. I'm already an experienced associate, looking forward to get promoted to as a senior. But at the moment, I would say a journey as an auditor has been very tough. It takes a lot in terms of mental strength and also knowledge to grow, because some people would say a journey or growth as an auditor is an exponential graph. So it starts easy as an associate, but by the time you get to experienced associate, you get to a senior, it just jumps into a very high level of expectation where it gets a bit unimaginable. So yeah, there's gonna be tears, there's gonna be laughters, there's gonna be sadness, there's gonna be anger in my journey as an auditor. But to grow, even though you're doing audit, you have to know that it's also important for you to grow in terms of your skills, especially if you have the opportunity to take the professional papers ACCA, ICAEW, and also EPACANS. So currently I'm also doing part-time ACCA as well. So I do recommend that if you guys are planning to do audit, do try to take your ACCA papers up, whether it be before you start your journey as an auditor or while you're doing audit at the time, so you're doing part-time. It's just a matter of whether you can actually manage your time, because especially audits, you have peak periods, right? So you just have to bear in mind that peak periods are very taxing. So if you are doing part-time, like my current situation is my classes are after office hours and also on weekends. So it gets very stressful because you don't have time, or at least you have to find time for yourself. So just remember that although you have to go through all this stress, it's worth it. That's all.
Alright, okay. So I'd like to ask you again, right now, like you mentioned, there was a few fears that was shared, right? Okay. So I'd like to ask you, what were your biggest challenges that you faced, and how did you try to solve them?
Alright, so one of the biggest challenges in PW is that, as an auditor, is that expectations get very high, especially from those who are your managers. So, especially when it comes to those points where you are the point where either you get promoted or not, that is where the point that they assess you at the next level. So if you are an associate, they will assess you whether you are ready to become a senior. So although you are an associate, they will see you. Are you able to do senior work? So that is how sometimes it gets a bit challenging, because you feel like you're not ready, but the expectation is that you have to believe that you are ready for it. So that's why it gets a bit challenging, because sometimes we feel like we have to be very mindful of ourselves. Like we have to take care of our own. If we can't bear with the challenges and the stress, don't push yourself. But the expectation is there that you always have to push yourself and break through that limit. You have to always get out of the comfort zone, because audit is not where you go and think that, oh, this is going to be my comfort zone. No, you're not going to have you're not really going to have a good time, obviously. But in the end, after the audit journey, I believe that it's going to be very worth it, because the knowledge that you earn and you learn that is very, very, very good. Because you learn a lot on the job, you learn a lot on the trainings that they provide. So just so you know, as long as you are able to actually utilize those resources that were provided to you, then you are going to grow. But if you don't, then you can see that some people that just joined, they resign after 3 months, they resign after 6 months, because they feel like, oh, audit is not for me. But the journey, they don't try to retreat too early from that journey, from that challenge. Just take up the challenge and see what there is that they can give to you.
Thank you. Okay, so basically what we can conclude from Amir talk is that basically no growth will be made if no changes is made within yourself. Okay, so I'd actually like to ask another person regarding that question. So like what challenges do you face and how do you solve them? Because I feel like this is a very broad question and a lot of you guys faced a lot of difficulties. So yes, challenges and how did you try to solve it? It can be when you were in New Zealand or even in Malaysia doing your job. So think wisely. Why?
I think the biggest challenge would be change. Being able to adapt and being able to be versatile in this day and age is very important. So be ready to face changes, be ready to expect the unexpected, and that's something that I've always had. I always, kept it stuck in my head and in my heart. Always be versatile. So me growing up, I've always changed schools. I've always, had different experiences and going to boarding school and then suddenly going to New Zealand right after COVID, right after staying 2 years at home, and that was something scary, but I had to do it. I had to step out of my comfort zone. So that was something that's really important to keep inside your head. Be brave, change. Don't be too comfortable in your comfort zone. Yeah. So. So that's basically it for me.
Alright, okay, thank you so much. Okay, Alfie, do you have any big challenges? Big challenges.
I think the first big challenge when I was in New Zealand was the weather. When we arrived at the airport, the shivering, unbeatable. I've never shivered that hard before. I need to put on a jacket, I need to put on a laying down, whatever, to keep myself warm.
Laying down?
Whatever, like I don't even remember whatever that time, okay. But I think the weather is very challenging. I don't know about Auckland, the weather is probably less harsh, right, than Christchurch. That is the first thing. The second thing was when you are there, it's quite challenging to mingle around with the locals. The lecturers there, their accent are probably more universal, so you can probably understand what they're trying to say. But when you mingle around with the locals, it's very, very tough. I remember when I was working part-time there, I was a cleaner at Westfield Riccarton, the shopping mall. I was a cleaner at the food court. The pay was good, $21 an hour.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
I think thank you for the tip. I'm going to take that.
Yes. It's very comfortable. You're in a shopping mall all the time, no harsh weather. Anyways, so when I was talking to one of the seniors in my workplace, I couldn't understand a single thing she said. I couldn't understand a single thing she said. That's one of the big challenges that I faced when I was there. I need to just laugh it off. I don't even know what to say. And when I talk to her back, when I try to make conversation, she'll be like, she doesn't understand. It's like, is anybody here from Kelantan? No.
Ada.
Okay, Kelantan. Dia macam kalau di Kelantan, kan? Orang kampus yang tak ketika macam Melayu.
I think you are Kelantan.
Mesti dah siap Kelantan. So that's one of the thing lah, one of the challenge. But when I came back to Malaysia, I think one of the biggest challenge when I enter the workforce is like this. When you are starting from SPM and then I go to KYSB for my foundation and my degree and then to university, the thing is everything is so structured. Everything is so structured from what we need to learn and what we need to study and how the exam is being structured. But when you enter the workforce, it's not structured at all. It's all over the place. It's about your capability to actually piece everything together and make a work out of it and make it successful for you. I think that is the big challenge that I face when I entered Room for Education around last year.
And so basically, we have to try to be as flexible as we can.
Versatile as possible, yeah.
Alright, okay, thank you so much. Tariq, do you have any challenges or is everything going well?
No. Everything has been very, very harsh after I graduated. So I would say the biggest challenge is please be ready to get rejected. There are many graduates over there who graduates with 3.95, 4.0, 3.5, first class graduates. There are plenty of graduates who graduated from UK, from overseas students. So I'm not saying that our graduates are not marketable. We are very marketable. Like if you go to Malaysian students are being looked up by lecturers because we Malaysians somehow are very militant and very rajin compared to locals. Not that lah merendahkan locals. Tapi Malaysian students are somehow being looked up to by lecturers because of kita punya environment in Malaysia is very, I would say, very fast paced and not like them. So be ready to get rejected. I've applied to multiple jobs. I got multiple rejections, hundreds of rejections. So like when you enter the workforce, you are fighting with all these graduates. It's you who decide whether you want to fight in this community or you just want to settle down with a how you say, a stable job, a job yang asal dapat. This is the place where you nurture that thing. KYS somehow treats you to make you get out of your comfort zone. KYS makes you someone yang boleh fight with other graduates. You akan fight dengan Petronas graduate, you akan fight with banyak, berlambat gila. I joined Petronas November last year. I rasa macam I'm down. I macam maybe okay. Tapi once you join the workforce, sebenarnya ramai je graduate KYSB dekat Petronas. Berlambat. I have like a friend in the same department, two friends in the same department, and I have like a couple of friends in the same department. So I would say be ready to get rejected. Try hard. Your rezeki will come. You just have to fight for it. Go for it. Nak nangis lah. You persilakan. I've cried multiple times sebab I kena reject. And in the interviews, I rasa Petronas was my third job. So I've been to interviews multiple times. Petronas was very hard. Tapi this is where you prove yourself. This is where you prove your worth. You are a graduate from New Zealand University. Jangan rasa rendah diri sangat dengan other graduates. So keep up with the challenge.
Alright, thank you so much. Okay, so I'd like to open this question to anyone, so everyone can answer it. So basically, the question is, how did KYSB shape you in terms of character development or anything, your soft skills or your academic challenges? I see. Oh, ada I see.
For like character development, I would say I can just as well. I'm a student council, so it would be like how to manage people because it's like the people skills is very important. Rather you in New Zealand, like engaging with new people that you just know, like all the locals and the lecturers that have like very different values, very different culture as well. So yeah, having that people skill is something that I've learned a lot from KYSB because I need to engage as you right, engage with the executives and then like all the stakeholders and then like people outside and then the students as well, how to engage the students and make sure that what the students need is being covered by the management as well. So that is a skill that I've developed in KYSB. And other than that, actually, this is something that's very novel that I've learned from KYSB as well. It's like Excel skills. So I don't feel like it's something that is very crucial when like you know, I saw like you know like how to copy and paste, that's it lah. But then Kaizen makes me realize that having this is actually like wow, it's actually really good because in New Zealand we don't really utilize Excel. We use like other data analysis software such as Stata and those kind of things lah to do our research and to complete our assignments. So we don't really use Excel, but somehow having that like skills like even though like very like macam minimal kind of skills penilaian KSB that has introduced us to, it has actually made me realize that it's important to develop these skills early on to be able to do well at job because we are working in banks, big fours, and Petronas, all these jobs even like accounting, finance, and also econs, right? We'll be using a lot of tools to analyze these kind of things, right? So actually the time that you will require to complete those tasks will be really depending on how skilled are you with these tools. So yeah, that is like what I would say now, 2 things that I've learned from QSB early on.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else want to answer? What did QSB teach you or benefit you in any way?
I think it taught me to be independent and be out there. I'm someone who can say I'm a bit kepo lah. So I'm a bit anti-asu also. So I like to be everywhere. So I used to be the VP as well for student council, and I was technically everywhere. So I like to join a lot of sports here. So KYSB actually allows us to participate in a lot of things, and whatever you want to do, we just back that up basically. Just tell the management and that you want to participate in this and that, and they will actually allow us to help us. They will help us basically to do all the paperwork and let's say you want to bring a futsal team and lawan at like other universities, right? So they'll help us, they'll guide us to arrange buses ke apa ke. So that's something that really shaped us stakeholder management. That's something that was
Tadi tak
really
nampak
nice.
macam
And
tapi
as a person, it allowed me to grow and spread my wings, step out my comfort zone. And yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I'll open this question to everyone. So as you all know, most of you guys are secure a job. So obviously, when you want to secure a job, you have to face job interviews. Okay, so what are the preparations that need to be made for job interviews, and sort of what are the challenges that you face when you want to do the interview?
Right. So I'll be honest, I didn't really apply for many jobs, but I would say I got lucky. So my first few applications got a big hit, so I landed a job in Big Four. But I would say my experience in that interview is that always be prepared on what they are going to say. Try to ask around, especially because when I applied for Big Four, I already had a few friends, peers, who already started working in Big Four. So I asked them what were the questions, what usually do they ask. So sometimes, auditors, usually they will ask you about accounting standards. The expectation is not there for you to actually understand an accounting standard. As an accounting graduate, it's not really, the expectation is not really there, unless you're an SCCA graduate, that would be different. But sometimes they just want you to show that you are actually willing to grow along with the firm or the company. So if you show interest, you are actually interested, you know what you want to do, you just don't simply apply for a job without knowing what the actual job description is. So you have to know if I'm applying for an auditor, I'm applying for a finance advisor. I know what they are going to do, I know my job scope, I know the expectations basically, especially as a fresh hire. So if you don't have the understanding on what you're applying, then it raises a concern. Are you actually ready for this? What if the job actually is out of your expectation? Would you be willing to continue and grow, or would you leave? So that is usually what managers would be concerned about, because I've been around with them, and then they told me what usually the expectations are. So yes, background is is always very important, especially your education background. So yes, it's a plus point for us because we are NZ graduates. They do try to fight to get us, but if you are able to show that you are willing to grow and willing to learn, even in a hard environment and even in a harsh environment. Every environment is very harsh. So it's just a matter of whether you are willing to learn with the firm or you just want to do it your own way. So just bear in mind that matter lah.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so another question that I'd like to ask is, why did you choose New Zealand to be your study place? So is there any reasons why specifically?
New Zealand, okay. So after I finished my SPM, I applied for a few scholarships. I got 2 offers. The first one is to go to Canada for under Petronas to study law. And the second one is this GP Amara program to go to New Zealand to study under accounting, finance, economy and actuarial science. The reason why I chose New Zealand is because, again, when I went to KYSB, I see how close the whole community is. And at the same time, we also met a few seniors from New Zealand. That is something that I don't see within the law community in Canada. And that is actually what interested me the most to go to New Zealand because of the community. And again, that Ami has mentioned, when we have that seniors in our view, they will help a lot in job searching because they can be our referral. They can recommend us to their HR, to their hiring manager. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I chose KYSB as my place to go for my undergraduate degree is because of that close community that we have. The proximity with us between our seniors is very close now. And I think that will play a huge role in our job search.
Yes, I totally agree on that, especially because since my first impression of KYSB is that honestly it's quite small, right? However, when I'm almost finishing my foundation, but I really love our community here. It is small, but however our bond is extremely academic. Regarding what you said, I would say that networking is quite important. So basically, what do you think that networking is important, and how do you sort of initiate like a connection making for networking? So
yes, so the most important thing when you want to enter the workforce, in my opinion, as a fresh graduate like 2 years ago, is to have a very good LinkedIn profile. That is the place where most hiring managers can see you in a very public space. Your LinkedIn needs to be very updated, and then you also need to put yourself out there, attend any forum, events, talk to people, connect with your seniors most importantly. Our friend, Ahmed Sharaf, who also graduated with a finance and economics major, he graduated the same year as me, August 2022. And then he went to do his CFA, the first level, and then I actually referred him to join my program. So I am the management trainee cohort A, he was actually cohort 9. So he just entered MBank April last month. I think the same as you, April last month. My point is, stay connected with people, especially your seniors. They will help you in that job search tremendously. Trust me on that. They will help you a lot.
alright, thank you so much. I really like that advice. Okay, I'd like to ask Aisha. So regarding actual science again. So what do you think is the most challenging part of studying actual science?
I can say this sebab it's a different case dekat New Zealand sebab lecturer dia tak ramai. So you punya course tu memang pendek. What I heard was that it's a 1-year syllabus tapi kita orang learn it all in 3 months time. So it was very hard. It's all about time management. Kalau you betul-betul nak pass those papers, ace those papers, nak dapat A, don't do anything, just study. Sebab assignment, 1 minggu 2 assignment, 1 tu Excel. So kalau you tak pandai Excel, you memang kena 2 days for that Excel. It's
Okay, enough about like the sort of downside of actual science. What about the benefits of pursuing actual science? Or is there
I love that. So actually, before when I came into USB, right, the thing I wanted to do always economics. So I was able to do economics, and then like approaching like the time where we need to submit what we wanted to study GPA, I was like having like second thought, I wanted to do actual science because it's very interesting. I really like numbers. And then like back before I did that, I heard a lot of people saying that actual is very hard, it's very difficult, and those kind of things lah. And for me, what I did was I went to see one of the lecturers here. I think he's not here anymore. It's Hyben, so I met him and I asked him about like career advice. I asked him like, oh, is it okay for me to do actual science? Because at the end of the day, our lecturers would know best lah because they thought they know like what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and what we would be better off with. So I think it's a very good start for you to talk with your lecturers and get their opinions on what you should do. Actually, like just give their opinions. Like, you don't really need to listen to them, but you can take what's their take on it and incorporate it into deciding what you really wanted to study. So he said, yeah, I can do actual science because he said I will be okay with it. But he said that it's very hard and the market job is very competitive as well. So if I really like numbers, yes, I can go off with actual science. But the thing is about actual science, it doesn't really diversify what you can do, and that is why Aisha said just now. Like most of the actual science people are taking double majors, like also with finance, so that they have like a wider job ranges as well. So after talking to him, and then like he said, oh maybe it's better for me to do finance because finance is also hard, but it's not as hard as actual science. So I took that interpretation, and thus I did economics and finance. So what I would say from here is that although you heard from people it's hard, it's difficult, different people have different opinions and also like different views and also interests on what you want to do. So although like you listen from people that actual science is hard, it might be hard for you if you really like it and you think that you can take up on it. And also don't be discouraged when you didn't get the job for actual science specifically, because at least you've got like the values as well as all the knowledge about actual science that you can apply. Because graduating in actual science, you have a lot of data analytics like skills provided for you, not provided like that you graduated with. So it's actually a very plus point to have all those skills. So if you really wanted to do actual science, just go for it. That was what I said.
Okay, thank you so much to clear that up. Okay, so I'd like to ask, did any of you guys sort of had difficulties in choosing your degree, or had like second thoughts macam nak pilih accounting ataupun nak pilih finance? So how did you manage to in the end make up your mind? So is there anyone who faced that challenge?
I think for me personally, I didn't know when I came into KYSB, I didn't know what to do. I was I didn't know what to do basically. So I was trying to think whether accounting was good for me, whether economics was good for me, whether finance was good for me. And after studying here, and this is a shout out to my lecturer, Salim, he teaches economics, and so basically because of him, I wanted to pursue in economics, and I took a double major in economics and finance because I had an interest in finance as well. So it was it's something that you don't have to think when you just enter. So think about it when you study, and maybe you can develop interest through that. When you don't know things, it's hard for you to make a good decision. So don't think about it when you first enter. Think about it after you understand everything, after you know your passion.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. Okay, so this sort of going to be a quite heavy question. Okay, so in your point of view, do graduates with a Bachelor of Commerce can survive in today's career challenges?
I would say can, yeah, very can, because as a commerce, people also use the commerce, but then actually because you're studying economics, finance, accounting, actual science, okay, can you tell me which other corporate companies that doesn't need this kind of people? Everyone needs it. So it is actually very diversifiable, and so can you repeat that question again?
basically, the graduates with a Bachelor of Commerce can survive in today's career challenges.
Yeah, so so yeah, we can because like we are very diversifiable, and on top of that, because although like we actually studying accounting, economics, finance, but at the end of the day, the only difference will be like mostly the theoretical part and also like the skills that we are actually enhanced like during our studies. But at the end of the day, like most of the works that we do will overlap. Like accounting, finance, actually like quite overlap like what we're going to do. So graduating in Bachelor of Commerce, I would say instead of like something that is being undervalued, it's actually something that we need to be proud of because everyone actually, if you tell people that you're from KOSB and then you're graduating from New Zealand, most people would know, most people in the workforce would know because of how well we are doing, like what we are prepared with. So it is something that I would say actually instead of being undervalued, we are actually at the plus side of the corporate world.
That is so good to know, Alhamdulillah. So to close this session up, I'd like to ask each and every one of you advice and tips for our future scholars and as well as our students in KOSB on how to anything survive the career world or even in studies in university.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Please keep this in mind. Each one of you, where you are in your career at the moment, you are always gonna try to reach for an objective. Whether it's gonna be a professional paper, whether it's gonna be you completing your degree, a new career, stepping up the career ladder. Benda tu is an endless process. You are going to chase something after another thing after another thing. So my advice to you is enjoy the process. If you rasa benda tu macam very hard for you, take a step back. It doesn't mean that you have to take everything leisurely. Push yourself. You will never know what your threshold point is, what your limit is, if you don't push yourself to a breaking point. So push yourself. If you rasa that is your breaking point, take a step back. Enjoy the process. Enjoy what you are currently doing. It's going to be stressful. Tapi at the end of the day, everything's going to be worth it. So enjoy the process and relax. And enjoy life lah, to be honest.
Alright, okay, well, advice. So when I was 13, I wanted to become a doctor. When I was 16, same, right? Yeah, why are we here? And then when I was 16, I wanted to become a politician, blah blah blah. Kan, my point is, long term ni kadang-kadang bukan tak boleh nak tengok, but sometimes long term ni it will fall into place, right? If you have the correct moving pieces. So short term, within these 4 years of undergraduate study, do your best, study hard. Jangan flop, because if you flop, GPA will come knock your doors. Macam-macam warning letters, you can do that. That happened a lot to my friends. One of them actually got terminated, but that's a tea for another day. Yeah, it happened. That's what happened lah. When you got culture shock, when you go to a country, bestnya bekerja tak ingat dunia, dapat really go travel, don't study, don't do that. Short term, within these 4 years, you study very hard. You finish the degree and then everything will fall into places. I think that's the most important piece of advice. Study very, very hard. This is the opportunity that not many of us Malaysians get. So appreciate it, enjoy your time, and study really, really hard. Jangan flop.
Okay, I'm going to say something very different to what you said. Enjoy life. Basically, when you're there, don't be. I know KOSB is a small community and you're bound to be with each other in New Zealand, but when you're there, go explore, meet new friends, join clubs. Like as for me, I joined a lot of clubs. I went like regional, like all around New Zealand. So it was really fun, and I met new people. All these Masale and these Kiwi people. So it was really nice. And so. Just take life one at a time. I'm not saying don't take the cane too much, but enjoy the present, so take your time, but also don't take your time too much.
Okay, as for me, I would say be agile and don't be discouraged whenever you're failing. Because in life, right, we are like a very long life process. So there are times where we'll be feeling like, for example, maybe we didn't really do well for our studies, we like not really well for job interviews and this kind of thing. So we are always will be making a lot of like difficulties in life. So what I would say is that instead of being discouraged with it, learn from it. Like why did you fail? Like why can't you do it? Because sometimes it's not really because you're not doing well, but it's just not meant for you. Because like I was listening like, oh, if I didn't get this, it just didn't meant for me. Like I'll look for something else. Because at the end of the day, you'll always be at the place where you're supposed to be as long as you work hard to get it, but at the same time enjoy life lah. And also you eventually will find out what you wanted to do and what you actually will do as well. So just like enjoy life at the present moment, like be present with the present moment, and just make sure that you are on the like right track to like I would say basically be agile and also just don't be discouraged with whatever things that you're gonna face. Just really see things in the on the positive note. And yeah, you can cry, but at the end of the day, if it's never meant for you, it won't be there for you. So just enjoy life at the moment, be present, and be agile.
I would say be enthusiastic. Like, you be curious about everything. Just try and explore what you want to do. Tapi jangan berdiri lah, itu je. Yeah, just enjoy the process, enjoy the moment. Be enthusiastic. That's it.
My advice on, back to the question was, advice on career punya life is that relationship management. Be very mindful of your relationship with your colleagues, your peers, and especially with your bosses. When you want to grow, especially if you want to grow long term in a firm, that is one of the very few things that you have to be very mindful of. If you aren't able to actually maintain your relationship, especially if you're high ups, then life's gonna get very difficult. Because although sometimes things might seem like black and white, but in fact, it's not. Like, there are things working in the background that you don't know. So just always be mindful of relationship management, stakeholder management with your client as well, especially if you are working in the service in a service lah. So if you are providing service to client, make sure that stakeholder management punya mindset is always there. So make sure that you keep your connections within reach, because at the end of the day, if you are planning to move away or move out, those connections will actually help you to, referrals. It does help, like Lego mentioned, right? What Ali mentioned here, sorry. Referrals helps a lot. So those connections, which comes from a good relationship management, helps very much. So just be very mindful, even with your peers, with your friends. If you take care of them, eventually they will take care of you again. Yeah.
That's very good advice. Okay, so that's the end of the session. So now I'd like to open the floor to the audience for any questions you may have. So please raise your hand and our team will pass you the mic. So anyone, parents, students, and future scholars, you can ask any questions. Okay, Nizam.
I have 3 questions.
Okay, so hi, my name is Ramizan. So I got a lot of questions. For now, only 3 I can ask. The first thing is, as an international graduate student, is there any advantage of getting a job than local graduates in the Malaysian market, and how employers and colleagues treat you rather than local students? The latter is in terms of work-life culture. In terms of benefits and compensation and salary, is Malaysia or New Zealand better, and how far is the gap is? And finally, specifically to Wan Ali, because it's in the banking industry, is getting into investment banking worth it right after graduate, or starts look with other sectors? And finally, okay, last one. How do you guys find accommodation there? That's all. How do you find the accommodation there? Yeah, in New Zealand.
Rizal tak ada rumah, Rizal.
We can go one by one of the question. So the first question was
Rizal tak ada rumah. Dia tak jumpa rumah.
the advantage of studying abroad and against opportunities.
Yang baca dia. Oh, kacau.
Honestly, in my view, academic wise, it should be the same. Studying here, studying there, but it's just the extra advantages, extra skills, extra exposure. That's the things that you as an international student will get to learn and will get to be exposed to. And that itself can be an added advantage to you, especially your CV and when you know, basically in your interviews, like, it can help you a lot. It can help you, it can help you, talk about things that have a lot of points for you to boost your character.
Aku nak batuk lepas tu terkelak.
But other than that, local it's about the same. But if you're not out there in the international, you're not going to be anyone. So just leverage on your strengths, and inshallah everything will be okay. Sorry, what's the second question?
It was in terms of first is just the work-life culture, and then the benefits of accommodation scenario between New Zealand and Malaysia.
Right. Okay, work-life culture, obviously, New Zealand better. No doubt. You'll be going back at 5. Yeah, and in Malaysia, it also depends on the department. Yeah, and also company. Because right now, I know that some departments in CIMB, they go back at 5:45 sharp, which is, that's work-life balance for you. But there are some departments where they go back at 9, at 8, but that's when it stops lah. You stop at 9 and then you continue the next day. So I guess that's kind of okay for the benefit of the day lah. In compensation and benefits, if you're thinking about medical compensation and all that, I think Malaysia has an advantage in that, because in New Zealand you won't be getting any medical coverage. That's probably just like a government thing lah. Like as in you'll be going to NHS lah, but in Malaysia you actually be covered for hospitalization, for like your insurance and all that. And salary-wise, starting, if you're talking about competitive salary, let's say you're earning 4K in Malaysia and 4K in Indonesia, right? Technically, it's the same. It's that same standard of living, and standard of living there is also expensive juga, it's high. So when you go there, you have to think about it. You have to rent the house, you have to think about food, you have to think about everything, and everything doesn't come cheap there. Yeah. So in Malaysia, let's say you already have a base, you can stay with your parents, so you can save on that. And overall, it's about the same. So pick wisely, and you may think that working in New Zealand may be like the best role in the world, but it's honestly just the same thing for me. Yeah.
Okay, for the second question, I don't agree with Ali. Okay, 4,000 here is not the same as 4,000 in New Zealand, because a Nike shoe there costs probably $200 each. You wouldn't feel it. It's a one-day salary probably, but here it's 800 ringgit something after tax and everything. So it's not the same. It's maybe cheaper on the rental side, on the food side, but in terms of your purchasing power index, economy, purchasing power are quite low relative to countries, this problem have the same as well. In terms of compensation, I think if you come from overseas, don't settle for less. The thing that I did with my friends, with my peers that I'm very close with, is we always talk about salary. Kau berapa gaji? Always talk with them, because then you will know what is your value in the market. And I'm gonna let you in on some secrets when we talk about salary, right? And some parents might not agree with me, the same way my dad doesn't agree with me, jump a lot, jump a lot. When I look at my C-suite in M-Bank, in my company right now, when I look at the C-suite, most of them, there are like probably 9 of them, only 1 of them stay from executive all the way to the C-suites, which is our chief internal auditor. You can look him in on LinkedIn. The rest of them, most of them probably jumps. So that is one of the best way to increase your salary, just keep on jumping. But jangan setiap bulan. You know, 2 to 3 years. Okay, coming to your question about investment banking. So other than the investment program, I need to do 3 rotations as compared to PCB in salary. They have 3 also. So I do 3. The first rotation in finance, whatever. The second in wholesale banking, whatever. Right now I am in investment banking. I am doing equity research, and to be honest with you, if you go back to probably 10 years ago, it was more robust compared to now. Right now, it's quite slow when we talk about merger and acquisition, when we talk about IPOs, it's quite slow. And what does that translate to in terms of us as the employee is lower bonus. So back then, it's quite normal for them to actually earn bonus of 18, 24 months in investment banking. But right now, you're lucky if you get like 6 to 5 months, based on what I heard from my seniors, because of the not robustness of our Malaysian economy currently with our companies now. And that comes to that point that if you really want to go for the salary, you really need to jump a lot. Don't stay in one industry and stay there forever. That's what I have noticed now from my observation with my seniors.
Yeah, just to add on the investment banking. So investment banking may sound like sexy, but okay, yeah, it's not a good but basically, when money is right now, it's investment banking. So all the deposits, where the current account savings account is, that's where the money is. So yeah, and then you may think of it as like macam loli kerja consumer banking tapi actually they're earning more than people in investment banking. It's just the name because of what the predecessors did. Yeah, it's an upcoming trend that we can see in banking also.
Thank you. So, for the last one, how do you guys find the accommodation in New Zealand?
Kenapa?
In Bali, kita orang banyak connection dengan senior. So selalunya kita orang minta tolong senior yang dah ada dekat sana untuk tengokkan macam rumah, area mana yang okey sebetul. So dia orang yang advice yang banyak tolong sebetul. Like tapi compared to the other Auckland and Christchurch, Wellington ada inflation, property inflation. So rent kita orang paling mahal sekali. How much per week? About $300.
Kak Welly. Per week sebab diorang bayar by week. Diorang kita kena bayar weekly.
Exclude bills.
Person.
Yeah, so think about it again when you guys want to go to Bali.
Yeah, it's like macam
Bali is very windy.
and then per person, like each person
Alright.
300.
Auckland accommodation okay je. Alright, but in terms of looking for the accommodation, I would say it's relatively easy because it's always in the market lah. Prices are relatively cheap compared to Wellington. I think last time I paid around $150 a week.
Halfway.
I mean, but to be honest, $150 a week per person. What I get was only a single bedroom and barely a kitchen. There was no living room. The toilet was separated into two, like shower and dry toilet, a toilet bowl, whatever you call it, right? So, but if you get lucky you get like an entire apartment unit. They have a very spacious living room. It's very big. They have 3 bedrooms, each with a queen bed, so you can fit 6 people. And the rent is actually not that bad. Actually, they pay less than what I paid, because I shared with 2 other friends, so 3 of us. And then what we had, our apartment was barely an apartment lah. Okay, but they shared with a total of 6 people, but they paid less than us. So, like, really look into what they have on the market, and counting a member lah, discuss with your friends, try to form a group. As a bigger group is better lah, because you get a lot, you get cheaper rates for bigger apartments lah. That's what I think lah. Plus, it was very comfortable. I stayed at his place for about a week when I went for my graduation. It was very comfortable. So yeah, be very mindful. Auckland senang je lah actually nak cari accommodation actually. So yeah.
To add on the $300 to like if you get a decent house lah, macam bilik seorang, apartment hotel, macam betul-betul decent lah. Also macam mana nak cari rumah kat sana, ada a few websites. Some of it trade
One month macam ikut one house you bayar rental.
Ya, itu dua yang satu kita orang cari.
Okay, for Christchurch, my batch was a bit unlucky because we are the COVID batch, so we were there for like 5 months, from March to August. So it was very difficult to land a property if your tenure is that short, you know. 5 months, landowner probably doesn't want to rent you houses. So what happened to us, my batch at UC, was we needed to stay at the unit accommodation. It was quite expensive, 225 per month, but everything is included. We have our own bedroom, we have a very proper kitchen compared to whatever Amir Aziz was having. And we have a proper bathroom, separated bathroom by no BD lah. So with you know, by no BD kan, pakai tissue lah, kan. But yeah, it was tough for us because we were there for such a very short tenure, around 5 months. So it's very difficult to sign any contract with landowners at that time in UC. I think only one of us actually was brave enough to approach now. He was going through some website, I don't remember what's the website, and he took the gamble to actually stay with people he doesn't know. Luckily enough, they were also Malaysians. Kyrie. Okay, so he was opting for a graduate house. It was called graduate house. It was very cheap, 150 per month. Everything's included. The first day he was there, he went to the kitchen. A lot of nationality. We have Filipinos, we have Vietnamese, and on the first day he was there, there is actually a kepala babi on the countertop. Cook the kepala babi. Kyrie said no. He got up. He joined our union com. Yeah, because of that. It was a very funny story.
Tak kering gusi.
So it was a bit. Tapi if you were there for a longer time, just pick what Aisyah did. Contact with your seniors, ask your seniors to go view the property, and then sign for you. Should be okay, that should be okay. Because of that senior connection.
This is a general emphasis on all accommodation in New Zealand. If they say that the toilet is a dry toilet, or I think like every toilet in New Zealand is a dry toilet, just make sure that it stays dry, because their floor is not made to get wet. Especially in an apartment, there has been cases where my friends accidentally flooded the toilet. Like in my case, we didn't even flood the toilet. We just use it normally, like how Malaysians use a toilet. We got charged because of damage. So in another case, a friend of ours also actually somehow managed to flood the entire toilet. It got worse now. So the charges are a lot higher. So bilik, use a bilik. So and then just like make sure that the toilet is well maintained so that you don't get this annoying smell.
Alright, so does anyone else has questions? Feel free to ask. Oh, okay, Amin.
I have a question. I'm quite lost on which university I'm going to choose. So, can you guys provide me with what criteria I should look for to choose the best universities in New Zealand?
If I were to summarize all the universities there, I would be biased lah. So I'm from Victoria University. I would be biased on Victoria University lah, of course. Tapi if I were to give an overview to all universities, I would say Victoria University is dekat tengah-tengah. Auckland is macam very KL-ish and panas sebenarnya. Auckland is like very KL, very bandar, so you don't have to go to Auckland try to boleh pergi KL je. And Christchurch is very kampung. Christchurch, if you want to go, I went to Christchurch for Bersatu Games. It's like a game for Malaysian like sports stuff. We went there. Christchurch macam very hard to move from another place to another place. You have to take cars, bicycle, buses. Whereas in Auckland, I'm not sure, I never went there, macam tak suka pun. Okay, for Victoria, in Wellington, for me, it's a very calming place. Dia macam, there's a part yang macam busy, tapi there's a part where you can go to harbour and enjoy pantai. Dia busy, tapi you boleh still macam, dia macam in the middle lah.
But then what
nice
zaman orang?
Yeah.
It's just like
But it's very windy. There's one time like I went out for a ride and I had
like the
to
property
pegang
inflation.
on a lamppost sebab the angin was too.
that's why I go to
It's very windy. Sebab kalau I tak pegang tu, saya melayang masuk laut. I don't know. It's the windiest city in the world, kan? In the world. So sometimes the wind could get to like 80 kilometers per hour.
Damn,
It's
80
very
kilometers.
windy. Tapi when it's not windy and it's summer, it's the best place you can go to. So masuk lah windy.
Yeah, to really.
I can add on Auckland. Auckland is very nice. Everything is accessible because your university is in a city. So don't think of it as like it's like a short front university. Don't think of it like that. It's memang a university with a campus there. So the whole street there, it's called Anzac Avenue and also Silent Street. So the whole street there is filled with university faculties lah. So there's the business faculty, there's the engineering faculty, medical, and all the sciences lah. So it's the whole street there, and everything is semua dekat-dekat. So you may have classes in the business faculty, you may have classes in the science faculty. So everything is nice, and then after that, we usually go for Gongcha ke apa ke, mana like nearby. So for me, Auckland is nice, and buses was easy. Cuma one thing is that it's a bit hilly lah. So there's a lot of walking, so you can lose a lot of weight. I went there 70, 80, I went back 60. Yeah, so I was like 10 kg. Now I'm back to okay. Yeah, so it's really nice lah. But I really love Wellington. All my friends are there. So I go there every 2-3 months. Yeah, because I want to meet my friends to enjoy time with them. I really enjoy it. It's a nice place to study. It's a nice place to just hang out with us also. And then it's very calming. And there's a lot of the community there is also very nice. It's a small tight-knit family, and there's a lot of activities that are going on, especially on Sundays kan. Yeah, Sunday you pergi the Sunday market, and then after that you pergi main Sunday league football kan, and everyone will be watching, and then that's really fun.
I want to add on Wellington Wellington punya university layout. So Wellington is not like Canterbury and Auckland. Basically, Wellington is a university city. So if you graduate, satu Wellington akan tahu you graduate. So it's very accessible. Macam kalau you pergi Wellington, if you say you are from Victoria University of Wellington, everyone will know. It's about campus dia macam very scattered around. The main campus is macam dekat Bukit-Bukit. There's another campus yang sebelah Parlimen. So you can just, it's very accessible. Semua accessible, boleh pergi jalan. And there's like one street over there yang macam before you sampai the campus, you can like do window shopping first.
Also to add on Auckland or like also other universities, it actually depends on what you value the most lah. If you like to go to shopping malls, Auckland ada shopping mall, Wellington tak ada. So yeah, it really depends on what you value. If you like to get like very accessible things and stuff, it will be Auckland because like we also have like the buses as well. And then like Auckland is also like University of Auckland is like the best uni in New Zealand. So I guess explains what you can get from there as well and the expectations that you might get from there as well. And then other than that, if you like somewhere like calm and also like very nature and easy to travel, Christchurch lah. But if you like to have like the mix of everything, but still doesn't have shopping mall, Wellington.
Dia ada shopping mall. Auckland. Really Kelantan.
What is going on? Wanting to ask a question? Just
I got a few questions regarding untuk actuary. So the first one, untuk sambung actuary ni, can you describe macam orang kata kalau nak sambung actuary ni, just you need to love math. So what actually it means by love math? Because in actuary we learn advanced math, while some people actually love macam basic mathematics je. Nanti bila sambung actuary, tiba-tiba you akan culture shock sebab what you learn totally different dengan apa yang you expect. And then is it common for student yang ambil actual science ni untuk buat double major? Sebab what I heard was if you ambil double major and then you rasa macam tak boleh nak sambung actuary, then you can just drop the actuary and sambung major untuk yang lagi satu field.
Right, so I'll just answer a bit on the first question. As someone who used to love maths, I used to love maths a lot. But when I was doing my degree, we had a subject called what was it?
Business.
It was like I can't remember what was the subject, but it was quite hard enough to the point that it made me start to hate maths. But then I had a friend in Wellington. He showed me one of their exam papers for actuary. I just wanted to puke after looking at the question. The formula, or the number formula, was longer than the paragraph.
Oh, the question.
So I was like, nah. I hate maths now. I'll just use Excel at the end of the day.
Excel.
to answer the question kan, kalau you suka now maths, so you suka actually science ke tak? It depends sebab basically kalau you suka numbers, you boleh go to finance, you boleh go to accounting. So you betul-betul nak actually science tak? Kalau you betul-betul nak, you would know why. You tahu like why? Sebab you dah buat research about actually science. So why? How did you know about actually science? So kenapa you choose that? Second question apa tadi?
Pasal double major.
Oh, sebab uni lain tak ada actual science. Tapi dekat Wellington, dekat Victoria University of Wellington, most papers memang dah sama. So macam kalau you ambil actual science, banyak like I would say like maybe half of it or 60% of it dah paper finance. So might as well just take double major. So you dah by the same time you grad for actual science, you dapat finance juga. Cuma itulah macam you punya papers tu banyak yang berat, bukan macam orang lain maybe dua berat, dua ringan kan, tapi you maybe
lepak 4 berat ke sambil macam tu lah. You would have that one sem yang you akan think about life.
Dia kata Syarin think about life. Okay tak Sufi? Sufi macam dah pasrah je tak nak
Alright,
answer.
there was someone who wanted to ask a question. Right in front.
Rajin question dream.
Tapi kau pun sama tak?
My question is, lately I found out about accounting, finance and economics. So like I was always debating between myself, like what should I do, accounting, finance, economics. But I was always interested in accounting. But I'm not so sure, like would you like do a double major with accounting and finance or accounting and economics, and which has a wider scope?
What did you study during SPM? Did you study accounting?
No, I'm from pure science.
Oh, same. Okay, so we're the same. Pure science, biology, chemistry, physics, and mathematics.
Jodoh kau banyak.
Pure science
Okay,
kata
the good thing about being QSM is because
Balkis lock. Lock satu Balkis.
dah tinggi kan?
Oh dah tinggi. Lock Balkis.
Okay, when we were in QSB, Ivan used to teach everything. He teach accounting, he teach finance, he teach economics, and from there actually you can kind of deduce what you want to do. When I was studying accounting, I don't want to study this thing anymore. After my first year,
That's so me. Like the first semester, the first month, I macam dah, oh my god.
When I enter my first year degree, in New Zealand they have that 100 level, 200 level for second year, and 300 level. I decided that I don't want to do finance anymore. Enough is enough for 200 level. And that's where really you can learn to kind of deduce like what would you like to do during your foundation in your first year degree. That will help you a lot in kind of clarifying what you like and what you don't like. And that's the good thing about USP too, because of that, a lot of learning opportunity.
Okay, I think for accounting finance, it's like the most typical go-to that you will go. You know, but it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a typical go-to lah what people do. But we rarely hear about accounting and economics. Yeah, but during my batch, there was this one friend of mine, yeah, he took accounting and economics, and right now he's in New Zealand and he's looking for a job lah. Because he's working. Oh, sorry, yeah, he's working already. Yeah, we just graduated last July. Yeah, me and Aisha just graduated last July. So basically, we're still new in the market, and I know that he's enjoying his life there, and it basically brings a lot of potential jobs for his market. Yeah, that's one thing I know. And accounting finance I can't talk about.
Okay, so I'm double majoring in accounting and finance. If I'm not mistaken, I pernah terfikir nak ambil accounting and economics, tapi schedule macam doesn't allow me to. Sebab I under JPA, so JPA nak you habiskan within this time. So I tak boleh ambil itu, so instead I opt for accounting and finance. I think if you are confused, ambil yang dulu. That's what it is. If you are confused between what you want to take, tapi at the end of the day, it depends on what you want to do after you graduate. This is the harsh truth. Tapi accounting field, I don't think in the first 5 years you would be able to enjoy that work-life balance. I think including finance too. Economics, I'm not sure. So if you are willing to sacrifice your first 5 years to build up that platform for you to go further in your career, so please go ahead. Accounting and finance is a very broad major that you take, and it's very much.
Basically not accounting lah.
You
So
are
maybe macam
accounting
finance
student,
ke.
benda tu akan macam, okay, I'll take you become an executive, I'll take you become an auditor, you can be an auditor, you can be an account executive, cuma macam
investment.
personally, if I would do it again, I can opt for accounting and finance.
Macam accounting you prepare. Macam finance.
Your ACCA, right? what's the difference between CA and NCA?
Aku Quran Sunnah. Apa?
The CA you meant was the UK one, is it? Or the CANS?
Actually, I'm not so sure what CA and NCA
Weli
is.
Kelantan, Amerika. Weli Kelantan
I mean, like,
Oh, macam okey lah.
CA is more of
Banyak sikit masa tu.
after you finish your qualifications.
Mana ada orang tak nak pergi? Ambil shopping je.
Professional qualifications are like CAW, which is Communication English Equivalent, SCA from UK, and also CANS, which is from Australia and etc. So after
Nak
you
kahwin
finish
awal.
either any of this, then you have to
Kahwin
have
awal,
a certain year of working, and then you get that qualification out. So then by then you get that title chartered accountant. That's what I understand. But the journey for those three professional qualifications are different. ICAEW, what I heard, is a lot harder. ACCA is just the same as ICAEW, but people do say that it's somewhat easier. NIPA CANS, no offense, but they say that it's the most easy because it's a mixture of assignment and also exam. ACCA and ICAEW are pure exam, and it's all closed book. So if you messed up, then you messed up. But at least NIPA CANS, you have your assignments to back you up, and it feels a lot more easier, especially if you want to do as a part-time, because you have your assignments and all. So yeah, but
yang tengah tadi tu ambil apa?
Okay, a few insights on different. I took ICAEW.
Sebelah Adri tu.
So I would say some of my managers I asked whether there are difference between ACCA and ICAEW. They said that macam tak ada difference sebenarnya. It's the same thing, cuma it's a different qualification. It's just that ACCA doesn't have limit on how many times you can take a paper kan? They don't have limit. But for ICAEW, you have 15 papers. If you are graduated with an accounting and finance, me personally myself, I was exempted for 8 papers, so I have to take another 7. If you fail any of these papers more than 4 times, you dah tak boleh ambil ICAEW. So kalau you fail kali keempat, any papers berturut-turut, your ICAEW is tak go. You can ambil 4 papers lain. I think that's what makes ICAEW is called harder compared to ACCA. Regardless, it's the same qualification lah.
Okay, thank you. So one last question, anyone? Okay, I know.
Yes. Hi. So I just want to ask, what were the things that you wish you knew before korang fly to New Zealand tentang diorang punya culture, especially as an international student? Thank you.
Betul tu? Macam apa? Tak ada.
Ha? 1.5 jam. Oh.
as someone who went on,
Sorry.
I wish I learned Hausa.
Apa?
Yeah, just make sure that you're able to actually join. AMSA is the student association for Malaysian students in Auckland. So just make sure that you are able to join an active club that are able to suit your needs. Not a club that simply is there for formality. Yeah, so look for something that actually can help you. Especially those clubs actually do help you. So in terms of like experience, guidance is very important. If you are a national student, you're going there for the first time, right? So you need guide. So if you don't have proper guidance, especially from your senior members, it gets a lot harder, or you might miss out on the goods over there, like the fun part. You might miss out on those because student association usually cater a lot to us as a student. Try not to join any sort of political or whatever.
I think I wish I knew their slangs were a bit different from the ones we learn here. We learn British, yeah, they use like this New Zealand accent where their E is like E. So it's very hard to see E there because they're like E. So macam kalau apple, dia orang nak cakap apple, dia orang cakap A. Macam Samsung, macam tu. So I wish I knew that sebab it was hard to understand.
Dia tak jadi Adam. Dia tak jadi Adam, dia jadi Adam.
Just to add on for the language macam let's say E pun macam I. So I usually introduce myself as Eric there, tapi diorang tak dengar, so macam Eric. But I think not my regrets lah, but before you go in there, look at all the sports available, clubs available, the list of like what is being offered like in the university, and then always check your email because the university loves to send emails to your university email account, and there's a lot of like newsletters saying that there's this event going on, or like there's this open day going on clubs and societies and all that. So you can join and go ahead and sign up to anything you want. Like I joined for like voluntary club, and then I went on lah. Like I didn't know anyone. I went there alone and just went there, took the bus with the random people, and then we just had some beach cleaning. It was nice lah. And yeah, overall just don't be too comfortable in your circle lah. So that's also one thing that you should not be doing. Just try and explore the city also. Explore, do research on the city that you are going to. So nanti you have something to look forward to. So like before going to Auckland, I was looking forward to
Bukan sebab cara dia
so that's like one of
macam
the place. And then last time I think almost every week eating a pastry. And then so itu tempat main seni lah. So that was nice lah.
If I were to add on that, what I wish I knew is that tak payah pakai banyak barang pun nak pergi China. Just like bring like several clothes, like the necessary one, like because you're not going to wear all the clothes like from your Malaysia wardrobe dekat China because it's gonna get cold. You have to have your winter wardrobe like spring, yada. So just don't bring a lot of stuff like before the first time that you go there, as well as for the food because there are a lot of Asian market there, so you can just buy the things from there as well. So pack wisely. That's what I wish I knew lah before flying there.
What is the
Compulsory things to bring.
I also wish I knew that people that was very supportive, education-wise, academic-wise,
everyone can be ada.
Like when I first got there, I started playing frisbee. So I main frisbee kat sini. So like the community there is very inclusive semua. So once you macam cakap, I nak join this one tournament, and then they would help you, they will bring you to all this trainings, tournaments. So like you boleh, even your sports
Jom, really.
Nanti
aku tulis kat belakang.
Selalu buat this Facebook messaging group yang you boleh informally contact your lecturers ataupun your groupmates, your classmates semua. So like it's very, itulah senang kat sana. Like you don't have to worry about anything pun. It's very supportive.
Dekat batch kita tu.
Alright, so that ends our session for our alumni talk. Okay, thank you so much Tariq, Adi, Arik, Arhana, Aisha and Ami for your insightful thoughts. Alright, so just for your information, our alumni will stay at our multi-purpose hall, so you can have further consultation with them. Alright, so before we move on to the next session, we'd like to take a picture with everyone.
I have your phone number. It's just for reference purposes. Anything like you.
Please, Encik Kamal, you can also take a picture with us.